welcome. God bless you. This one is on shade. The importance of shade, whether a person is in a vehicle or on the streets. Especially in the summertime, shade is so important. There seriously needs to be more trees planted, and I know it's frustrating. Like LA beaches and harbor, they just butcher their palm trees, so they're absolutely worthless. They're like these little tall sticks with like nothing on top. Like the once they start getting beautiful, they just chop them down. It's really icky, and makes them unfunctional. And keep going on about, of course, the whole global warming is a lie. So they've gone from it's global warming to it's global changing. Anywho, the point is that, if we had more shade, things would be cooler, and that would be great. And to all the snippy bicyclists that kill the planet by not, if you're at your house and want to save the planet, well, one, you don't need to have a whole brand new outfit with pads in the butt. If you were saving the planet, you would ride your bicycle right out of your front door. You would have a big basket on the front of it or the back of it and go do your groceries and other errands, but you don't. Instead, you come down to the coast, and instead of parking in areas, they always park in the most inappropriate areas. It's just like, let's go park where everyone is. Hey, this is a surf spot, and there's like really very limited amount of parking spots. So let's go park there and then leave for like 4 hours. Hey, look, there's one of the rare shade spots. Let's go park there and just leave for 4+ hours. It's really frustrating because not only are you polluting the world because you're not biking from where you are, but you're going to a highly populated section that's already highly busy, taking spots that are already used and truly needed, and then riding on the roadways that were made from the tax money from people in cars. They're not made for you. You don't belong on the roadway. And would you please stop parking in the shade spots? I can't tell you how important it is when you're in a vehicle. And that goes also for people in RVs. I know I had one shade spot, and the one year there, because there's only really in this one area like 2 shade spots, 3. Where's the one you always get bombed with bird poop? It's just really nasty, and it's not good shade. It's just a little bit of shade, but going up into the 90s, so take what you can get. But it's frustrating because then they're pooping in your car and pooping on your car, so that's gross. But yeah, this guy got an RV, and then he kept his car, and then he just took up all the entire shade, and then he would leave for the day. And that's part of the thing, what I hate about RVers is they take some of the best parking spots and then they just disappear. RVers are like the least homeless people in the community in my book, because they get to stand and sit and stretch out and walk and have the luxury of like a kitchen and a bathroom if they so choose to use it. And then so often they'll come to they just take the best spots, including the shade spots. And it's like you're always in light colored vehicles with a ton of windows, and a third to half of the time you're not even there. It's really frustrating. But yeah, so shade is really important. If you can forego parking in a shade spot, like if you're in a homeless area, that would be very kind. Because I know it's frustrating, and I just find it frustrating because I know when it gets hot, there's a shade spot, and people were ripping the branches, so I trimmed them up so people would stop ripping them. It's like, don't kill the bush. It gives a lot of good shade, but and I'll pull up so that 2 cars can at least fit in it. Like I have most of my car except for my hood, since that doesn't need to be in the shade, and then another person can pull up and either get basically most of their vehicle into the shade. And so many times people will park in a way where they are the only one that can get the shade, which I have a space bubble. I can realize, like, it's mine. I got here first. But, you know, when you're dealing with hot days, like 85 to 100, it's just be really nice if you could share. So, just a little bit. So, it was nice. One time there was a guy, he put me in my place in such a kind way. And he didn't even know he did it. Because, he was in the shade spot, and I'm like, son of a, because like for years there was this one spot, and I was like the only person who parked there. And you know, over the years, more and more people have become homeless, and they love that one spot. It's one of the spots that they really love, and it's like, go away. So I was all upset that this guy was parked there, and right before he left, he actually, because I had my windows open, he came up to me and he's like, and I'm like, oh, is he gonna ask for something? And I really wasn't in the best mood that day, and it was just so incredibly hot, which doesn't help. I don't know if I have my dog, because he was struggling, I know. And I did what I could to tweak things on my car to make it cooler, but you can only do so much. But anywho, he was so sweet. He's like, hey, I'm gonna leave. Do you want the shade spot? Or do you want the shade? I'm like, yes. So it was nice, because I know, especially, I don't know, just LA in the summer. Try to get away from LA in the summer because my nerves just, it's not the best place for me. Tends to be a lot more people, and it doesn't have quite the chill vibe it usually does, and I just get really frustrated, especially when it's really hot and people are being dicks about shade. So yeah, so that was a pleasant surprise, and he sort of backed up to make sure I was the only one who could get it, so that was really sweet. So, and it's nice when you can help people. I know I had shade one day, and I was about to go, and it was so incredibly busy. Everyone was parked on both sides of the road, and I mean, it's just packed up the yin-yang, and this Mexican couple started talking to me, and we sat there for a while, and I was going to go, and she's like, are you leaving? And she's like, it's such a good spot. I'm like, I know, but I've been here all day, and I need to go. So she's like, do you mind waiting so my husband can, like, turn around and pull, get this spot? I'm like, yeah, which, you know, it was really packed, so it wasn't like hey, he can just, like, do a U-turn. It was like a 10-minute thing, but I waited for him, and he eventually was able to cross the street, but then he had to go past the light to turn around. And anywho, it's just nice when people are nice. I know it can be, I don't know, it feels like it can be hard to be nice sometimes, but it always just seems better when you're nice. So it just makes the world better, that's sure. But anywho, so shade is super duper important, and I mean, it's important if it's just a person, and then when they have a dog, that's super important. So, and it's just nice on hot days if everyone could just be, you know, conscientious of the shade and, you know, pull up so someone, especially when there's other people already around, share the shade. That's what I'm trying to say. So, anywho, so you have a good one. Bye-bye.